All right, my beautiful people, thanks so much for tuning in to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. I'm your host, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator. No pain, no gain. We're going through the law of pain and the 15 laws of invaluable growth by John C. Maxwell. And we talked about the pain file yesterday, and today we're going to talk about how to turn your pain into gain. How to turn your pain into gain. So Pat just put a question up on the side. So what if your greatest success in this lifetime is to come from a completely unexpected field, and it will be made possible because you followed your heart in all the expected fields? Have you considered that? I think I'm in a completely unexpected field. So yeah, I didn't expect to be where I'm at right now. I'm sure that this may not even be the greatest success of my lifetime. I think I'm always growing success. So I guess when I get done accomplishing this, there's going to be something else that may come across his path. At the end of the day, man, we talked about this last night, was following what the universe tells you and what it shows you. I think when you get to a level of success, you try to find another level. It may be in a different field. It may be trying something new. But I think there's always some sense of accomplishment that you want to have, or that I may go after. Maybe not everybody else. And then maybe when I get a certain age, I'm gonna stop going after accomplishment. But it's going to be some type of significance, some type of impact I'm going to always want to be making and trying something new. Whether it's building a foundation at some point. But yeah, that would be, I didn't consider the field that I'm in until I got into the field. I just saw a problem. I said, you know what? That's a problem I want to go solve. What about you, Pat?
Yeah, actually, I didn't expect you to jump in and answer that right away. I expect you to go through the normal intro. I was just setting that up for later. But I get a daily email. It's called Notes from the Universe. And that's the question they posed this morning. And I thought I'd just share it. Okay. And it just kind of makes you think. I mean, you don't know what's going to be brought in front of you later. And you do with what you have the best you can. And if you set your mind right, you will see the opportunities as they're given to you. And the problem is most people don't see what's been even given to them. I mean, you saw an opportunity and you decided at that point you were mentally ready to take it, and you stepped up. But how many opportunities went down the creek that you let float right past you before you were mentally ready to accept them?
Yeah.
And and how do you get mentally ready to accept them? Is you get your head straight, and that's what we're doing here this morning, is trying to get our head straight.
Yeah, and I would say this, man, and I said this. I don't know. I'm in such a space right now. I think I'm on like cloud 55. But here's the deal, guys. Too many people are waiting on the opportunity to pass by them, come into their life before they take a step. And I'm telling you that opportunity looks for people of action. So it's when you are taking steps that you'll actually start to see more opportunity. And I'm at the point in my life right now where I have to tell some opportunities no, because they just don't fit with what I'm trying to do at this point in time. It may be for somebody else. I may check them out, but there's a lot of opportunities that come across my path, a lot of money-making opportunities that I have to say no to just because it's not in the lane that I want to go into. Because some opportunities that come across your path, they can be distractions as well. Once you get to that point where you have opportunities coming each and every day, I've got people recruiting me for so many different things. They want me to do this, and this. They want me to join this, and this. And there's some opportunities, even good opportunities, that would have been good for me or I think could make me a lot of money. I just say no to, because for me, it's not about the money, it's about the mission. And once you find your mission, once you become this glow, you start to attract all types of things. And so now it's a different level of walking. It's a different level of living, because now you have to be careful that you stay the course, whatever it is. Yeah, you have to be very selective in whatever it is that may come across your path, and it doesn't align with where you're going. You have to say no. This is why I think no is a very important word that we must adopt into our vocabulary. Many people can't say no. And if you can't say no, then you're going to find yourself trying to take every advantage of every opportunity, and then you'll find yourself not accomplishing any, because we're still trying to be what society or what the corporation has trained us to be, which is multitasking. And I think that's one of the worst things that you can do as an entrepreneur is to try to be, try to do everything. When you find your goal, when you find your lane, I'm telling you, stay in it and be an expert in that arena, in that lane. Become the expert in that lane before you start to spread yourself out to other lanes. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself a jack of all trades. And you're going to still find yourself broke because you're too general. You got to become more targeted. You got to become an expert in something, a master of something, and not a jack of all trades. You can still know how to do all that stuff, but when you become targeted, it's those people that are targeted. They say, hey, you know what? I am the best AC person, and I get paid like the best AC person, right? You may not know how to do all that other stuff, but because you have selected something that you're going to be an expert in, you get paid expert type of money. Pat.
Well, and what happens to a lot of us is we take the first step and people see it. Now, and the universe sees it. And it's like, there's someone that's willing to do more.
Yeah.
Well, let's throw the whole wheelbarrow on them because no one else is taking up the slack. It's empty at the top, not because any other reason other than people don't go there. It's empty at the top because no one goes there. There's plenty of room for you.
Plenty of room, man.
Plenty of room for you.
It is amazing. Not amazing, but I just talked to so many people who have a fear of success. They really do. They're afraid to let their light shine. Because we know that a light shining. What's that, Pat? What's that?
Well, I was going to let you finish your sentence. This is the coffee cup for the day.
I know. Well, what is that, man? You made that yourself?
No, actually, it was a gift. It's basically called duct tape.
Oh.
And it has nothing written on it. But the message was, I could fix anything.
Look like you made that, Pat. You used in the arts and crafts store, man?
No, it wasn't me. See, there's actually a label at the bottom of it.
But yeah, so your light, and that's the song, man. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, man. You really, it does the world no justice if you don't let your light shine.
Yeah,
it does no justice if you don't let your light shine. And there's a lot of things that come with being an attractive person. And when I say attractive, I'm just saying that you're walking in your element, and you're the freaking bomb.com. You're just walking in your element. You're just doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're doing that thing that makes you great. And unfortunately and fortunately, that's going to bring about groupies. That's going to bring about people who notice this glow that is on you when you are. I think everybody knows what their element is. Everybody knows what lights them up. Everybody knows when they get in that zone, they in the zone, and they know when that is, and they know where that is. And it's a fun place to be when you're operating in it. But I think for some, it's like, man, now I got all these people watching me when I'm in my zone, and I'd rather be in my zone in the dark. But that's almost impossible for you to be in the zone till you be making an impact and no one noticed, because you're making an impact in the lives of others. And they appreciate it, and they want you to keep making an impact in their life. I mean, that comes with the territory. And some people don't want to accept that part of the success. It's not the thing that they're doing. It's the other stuff that comes along with being a light. I don't know.
Well, and the instructions for a light is when you walk into a dark room with the lamp, you set the lamp up high so it shines upon everything. You don't take the lamp and run around in circles and try to be everything everywhere. So find your thing, whatever your thing is, and climb to the top of that whatever that is for you. Climb to the top of that, and that's where your light shines. Your light shines on top of the pedestal of that entity, whatever that action is for you, whatever that zone is for you, but you can't do everything and learn to be an expert at everything and be of service to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, how much does the handyman that fixes anything make compared to the surgeon that fixes your heart? One thing.
One thing and one thing well. So
Right?
this week, guys, trying to finish up the law of pain. So tomorrow we can have Fan Friday. And so we're talking about how to turn your pain into gain. And so John Maxwell, he lists some steps as to, things that can help us when we find ourselves in those painful situations. He said, number one, he said, you want to choose a positive life stance. In other words, you want to have a positive mental attitude. He says, life is not the way it's supposed to be. It's the way that it is. The way you cope with it is what makes the difference. And the way in which we dealt with our website being down, the way in which we dealt with the hosting company who does not have technical support, it wasn't what happens. It's not what happens in your life. What happens in your life happens in everyone's life. What happens to us all. It's about how we deal with what happens. Murphy is going to come. I know at some point in time, my tires are going to need to be replaced. I know at some point in time, I might get a nail in the tire. What happens to us all. But how do I handle what happens? Do I be like, man, I can't believe this and go off because I got a nail in the tire and I got a flat tire? Or I say, you know what? I just got to get a new tire and go deal with it, right? And handle it. How do you handle what happens or what comes, especially the things that are not as pleasing as you would like for them to be? How do you handle that stuff? And the best way to handle it is to actually approach it with a positive mindset. Pat.
Well, so the question for Nelson this morning is, did it snow on everybody in the area or just Nelson? The reality is, there are some truths that come up. And the truth is, it happens to everybody, right? The sun shines on the righteous and the unrighteous, right? It rains on the good and the bad. The funny thing is, you have to decide whether you're going to go dancing in the rain or you're going to go hide in a corner and decide, I can't do anything because it's raining. Yeah, you can. You can decide what to do.
It's all up here, guys. How are you going to approach this day? Now, of course, we're having this show that you can approach this day with a positive mindset. Or maybe you're not starting your day. Maybe you're finishing your day. It doesn't matter. Right now is the time for you to change the way in which you're going to be so that you can take on the rest of this day, whatever time frame that you have, because I know we're all over the world, whatever time frame that you have, and you can take this time here to go and be awesome, as Nelson said. And so the second step, as you're looking to turn your pain into gain, from John Maxwell, he says you want to embrace and develop your creativity. Now, this is right up my wheelhouse, because I know that everyone has these creative juices that are in them. Now, typically what we find is that people don't start getting super creative until they get super desperate, until they're in that pain point. They're like, you know what? This is it. I'm sick and tired. I'm done with this pain. I'm going to find a way to stop being miserable. I'm going to find a way to stop having this pain in my life. And they get super creative. They start finding all different types of ways to finally get rid of this pain that they have going on in their life. You want to embrace and develop your creativity. And this is one of the few places where people will actually tap into their very own gold mine, is when they're in a painful spot where their back is up against the wall, and people do phenomenal things when their back is up against the wall. Pat.
Well, and if you look at people who actually study the martial arts, they can do phenomenal things. But the reality is, anyone who goes through that training can learn to do better or do phenomenal things. And just because that they can focus their adrenaline and do what some people think's impossible, when you are in that point of desperation, you find a way and you tap into your energy and you do what normally would be impossible for you. If you can do it by accident, you can learn to do it on purpose.
Repeat that.
If you can do it by accident, you can learn to do it on purpose. And if you can do it out of desperation, then you can train yourself to do it out of inspiration. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to get everyone inspired every morning and get started. And if you can do it out of desperation, you can do it out of inspiration. It still comes from within you. It's in you. We believe in you.
Life begins at the end of your comfort zone, guys. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Stretch yourself today. You know, do something uncommon today. Do something out of the ordinary today. Do something extraordinary today. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Maybe you have finally stepped out of that comfort zone of that 9 to 5 or something like that, and you're building your own business or whatever. Even in your own business, even this thing that you're building, I want you to do something extraordinary today. Maybe you've gotten to the routine and the mundane thing of what's ever going on in your world. Today, do something extraordinary today. Do something outside of even that comfort zone. Go out and shine, man. So yeah, man, you're so right. If you can do it out of desperation, you surely can train yourself to do it out of inspiration. So the desperation doesn't have to come. You don't always have to wait on desperate times to have desperate measures. I believe if you have these measures that you employ when times get desperate, man, you employ them things when you just inspired. Oh my goodness! Now you're at a whole nother level of world, and you're at a place of just extreme positivity, extreme inspiration, and extreme productivity. Man, go out and make it happen today. And the third thing that John Maxwell said, he said that in this process of turning your pain into gain, he said you want to embrace the value of bad experiences. And I would say that here's where you really want to say, man, you know what? Here's what I'm learning through all of this. You know, if I don't go through anything bad, how much am I really going to learn? Sometimes you deal with this so that you can really learn this hard lesson in life. And I found most of my lessons come when I'm dealing with something that may not be as comfortable as I like for it to be. It says facing difficulties is inevitable. Learning from them is optional. Facing difficulties is inevitable. Learning from them is optional. Pat.
Well, and that's the age-old adage. In all things, learn to be thankful. So no matter what you're going through, if you learn to be thankful for it and say, this was given to me for some reason, you know, and yes, it's difficult to get through right now, and I'll make whatever it is, whatever, you know, and it may be financial or maybe family, emotional, you know, because we all go through all of that in life, right? And then the question is, why? How did I attract this? What brought this to me? And thank you for letting me see so I can do better. So, you know, embrace it, even though it may not be pleasant, and go, thank you. What about this do I need to be thankful about?
Absolutely, guys. So here's the deal, man. What is it that you have to be thankful for? You want to embrace the value of bad experiences. So again, we're talking about turning pain into gain. Number one, you want to choose a positive life stance. Number two, you want to embrace and develop your creativity through this time frame that you might be going through. And number three, you want to embrace the value of bad experiences. And then John says in the book, again, we're going through the 15 laws of invaluable growth. We're on the law of pain, where you actually are learning to grow through your pain. Number four, he said you want to make good changes after learning from the bad experiences. Now, this is very important because if you don't change, if you don't learn from your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So if you go through something and you don't change, you don't grow from it, then you're bound to go through it again. Now, how many people here have been actually going through something and actually been through it again because either you chose not to learn from it or you chose not to grow from it? Now, I know, Pat, you said that you were hired and fired by the same boss 11 times. You know, that was part of your
journey. He can't learn. Yeah, he didn't learn nothing.
But I'm pretty sure that many of us have gone around that Mount Sinai multiple times because we were too stubborn to learn or to grow. Too stubborn to learn or to grow. So we just kept going around the mountain, taking us years and years to finally break free, because at some point we decided, you know what, I'm actually going to learn from this, and I'm going to grow from this, and I'm going to move on from this. It's almost like being a child in that moment, right? A child will just keep going through the same thing over and over again. At some point, they grow up and they mature from that thing that they're dealing with, they're going through. And I'm saying that even though we may be older, we still are children in some areas. We're still stubborn in some areas. We still won't let go of some of the things that we know we need to let go of. Some of us still have bad attitudes for no reason at all. Some of us still deal with sarcasm or still deal with, I don't know, you know what it is. You know what your issues are. We all know what our issues are. And the question today is, are we going to make good changes after we learn from our bad experiences? And it says this: a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. Pat.
And that's really what's really sad with a lot of people today is they are stuck, but they choose to be there. Choose something better. Choose to make the next step.
And I'm sure that many of you guys, because I know we got some fabulous people here with us today, and whoever may be watching this later on, make some better choices. I mean, we can only help you so far, so much, right? We can only push you so much. It's got to be you that's got to make the choice. Everyone else may see the best choice for you, but if you don't see it yourself, you'll never make it. Everyone else may say, man, it's obvious that you need to be a singer, and you just keep denying the fact that you got a great voice and you can sing. Everyone else could be saying it and telling you and giving you confirmation, giving you validation. The whole world is giving you clues. But if you don't decide to see it and seize it, let me say it again. If you don't decide to first see it and then seize it, it does you no good. You're not paying attention to what the world is trying to tell you. You gotta seize the moment. You gotta take advantage of these things that the world is setting you up. The world is absolutely setting you up, but it's got to be up to you to actually make the change, take the step, do something different. Or you can continue doing what you're doing and you can continue to get what you're getting. Now, I would say it only makes sense that if I'm doing something and I'm getting miserable, getting the fruit of it is miserable, at some point I got to decide to change what I'm doing so I can bear the fruit of joy. So right now, wherever you are, ask yourself this: what am I doing and what am I bearing? What fruit am I bearing? Now, when I say this, I know that many of you guys are bearing good fruit, but I also know that there's some bad fruit among us. And so I want you to recognize today, whatever that bad fruit is that you're looking to change, you're looking to get rid of, and I want you to get to the root of that fruit. What is it that's causing you to bear this bad fruit, this little thing that keeps nagging at you? You know it's time to change. You know it's time to grow from this thing. What is that thing? And can you get to the root of it? Because it's not the behavior that's the problem. It's the thinking that brings the behavior. It's the vocabulary that brings the behavior. That's got to change in order for the actual behavior to change. Pat.
Well, and you said the vocabulary, or what comes out of our own mouths. And what comes out of our own mouths is based upon what we put in our own ears or what we put into our own eyes. And that is a choice. And, again, we go back to one of the first rules, laws, was being intentional and being intentional about what you do. So on your way to work, are you listening to inspirational, positive things? Do you start your day inspirational, positive? Or are you watching all the negative news feeds? Because for some reason, they don't report necessarily on a whole bunch of good things that happen. They report on a whole bunch of negativity. Are you focusing on that negativity and then wondering why you're negative? Wondering why you attract negative things? Are you focusing on positive? Are you intentional about deciding what you're going to feed in so you know what you're going to be putting out? And as you put out, what do you attract? You attract what you put out. Life is a mirror. What you're looking at is you.
And you know what, Pat? I would venture to say this, that there is just as much good going on in the world as there is bad. You have to look for the good, though, because all the outlets won't show you the good. You know what I mean? Because controversy creates cash. We know what their agenda is. We know what their whole thing is ratings, and everybody always flees to the controversy and negativity. But I've seen, as I've put down the media and I found my own media, that I see just as much good as I do bad. And it's all about choice. It's all about what you choose to focus on. You know what? Someone put up something crazy. Hey, unfollow. I don't need to watch that. I'm looking for something good. I'm looking for something. We talked about this on Sunday. I'm looking for something that's noble. I'm looking for something that's praiseworthy. I'm looking for something that's of good report. I'm looking to find these things. This is called being on a scavenger hunt. You got to be a treasure hunter to find the good stuff that's going on, not only in your world, but in the world at large, in the world of your friends. You have got to be a treasure hunter. Each and every day you wake up, you have to decide you're going to look for gold. Each and every day, you got to decide that today I'm looking for gold. And when I find it, I'm giving it some praise. I'm lifting it up. I'm exalting this, because this is very, very difficult to do in this world. And it's those people who decide to look for the positive in people, in experiencing, in experiences, in relationships. Are you going to focus on the positive, and are you going to look for it, or are you going to do what the rest of the world is doing and focus on all the negative stuff that's going on?
And what you put into your sight develops your appetite. Okay. Woo! So if you go, and I used to live near a bakery, which was very bad for me. And if you walk past that bakery every morning, and you saw that every morning, what you put into your sight develops your appetite.
Yeah.
Okay. So decide what you're going to put into you. Decide what you put into you, because it will affect everything else about you. Decide what you feed you. You know, you are what you eat. You are what you eat mentally also.
Absolutely.
You are what you eat.
And it's interesting, guys, because I think that we're just reiterating what we already know. I think that many of us, when we have decided to have that, we went on this tangent. We went on this streak of positivity. We start seeing all these great things happen. And then for some reason, we may get away from it. You know, something bumps us off course. But then whenever we get back on that streak, on that road to being positive, we continue to see great things happen in our life. And all we're saying is reiterating to you what you already know. And that's, I just have to decide that this is how I'm going to live my life. Nelson, how are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely phenomenal, man. Thanks for joining.
I'm ready to go out and do great stuff. Let's go.
Let's go.
Gotta make your own destiny. That's Absolutely. All. That's what it's all about. Make your own choices. Make your own destiny. Go out and do what's good for you, and just get her done.
Get her done, man. And so, as we're talking about turning your pain into gain, step number 5 is, and this is vital. You just got to take responsibility for your own life.
That's
it's one short step from why me to woe is me. It's one short step from why me to woe is me. And these are questions I don't even like to ask anymore. I don't even like to ask why.
Woe is me is not even in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I know that's
why not you? Why not you?
Yeah, why not you?
Why not you? And what can you learn from it?
Yeah.
You got that for a reason. Accept it and be thankful and learn from it. Why not you?
Yeah.
And so as you think about taking responsibility for your life, guys, I want you to think about every area of your life. Now, particularly, I wanted you to think about your financial side, because this is where most people are having a problem. And wherever you find yourself financially right now, whether you're rich or poor, whether you're broke or wealthy, it doesn't matter. You got to know that you had something to do with it. Okay? You had something to do with it. You
got everything to do with it.
Yeah.
You made choices along the way, right? You spent the money, you've got the things, you have something to do with it. Take responsibility for your financial life. And guess what? Because you know you have had something to do with wherever you are right now, then you also know that you're going to have something to do with wherever it is that you're going. Right? And these are decisions that you must make. You're going to keep doing whatever it is that brought you here. If you're in a bad place, and if you're in a good place, you want to do more of it. Or if you're not in a great so good place, you can make decisions today that say, you know what? This is going to stop. I'm going to change. Not this is going to change. I'm going to change, because if I change, then this will change. If I change, then this will change.
If you don't do it yourself, no one's going to do it for you.
Take responsibility for your life. This is how you start to turn pain into gain. Pat.
Well, and it starts for me every morning. I mean, the sad thing is there is so much negativity out there between the news coverage, and which gets the masses on a negative trend, and then you step into that. So before I'm going to step into that minutia, I'm going to put on my positive boots.
Put on your garb of positivity, man. Nelson.
Yeah, you got to put on I get up every morning and put on my positive boots every single day. I can't wait to get down here and just start going and start working and start doing good stuff that's meaningful. And that's what keeps me going.
Yes, man. So that is what we're talking about today, turning your pain into gain. I think that many of these points, many of us have experienced. And it's really like it's cool right now if you're not going through something, but it's when that next thing comes that you're going to have to remember what we talked about today. It's when that next thing comes. Matter of fact, you can be preparing for that next thing even as we speak, because you're developing yourself each and every day. Each and every day that you come on the show, you're developing yourself. You're developing your protection. You're developing your mental stability. You're developing your fortitude. That's what it is. You're developing your fortitude, because something will come. What happens to us all. It's going to come. But guess what? Because it comes doesn't mean it has to stop you. It's just something you deal with, you handle, you learn from, and you grow from. And now you're a better person because of it. If everything always goes your way, then this thing happens in your life, and it starts to build up what we call your ego. Because you become this person that just thinks that thinks you are all of that, and you are all of that, but you're not more than all of that. You're just a human being. You got blood just like us. You got oxygen that you breathe just like us. And sometimes you got to be humble. The world has a strange way of humbling you when you start to let that pride get a little high in your life. So turning pain into gain, man. This is the law number 8 that we are finishing up this week, and so hopefully you got a lot out of it this week. Tomorrow's Fan Friday. We're going to be opening up the seats for you to be able to share what you got out of this week. You're going to be able to share how you've grown this week just from going through the law of pain, learning how to deal with the pain, embrace it, and actually change and grow from it. Pat, you got any last words for the peeps?
Well, we all have to deal with whatever we have going on in our life, and we all have too much going on in our life. But one thing to keep in mind as you go through that is that, one, you can do it. I mean, we believe in you. We know you can do it. And we also have to remember we need to start every morning by being almost as awesome as Nelson is. Okay? but
Thank you.
I am awesome, and so are you.
I'm awesome, and so are you, man. Nelson, man, you got any last words for the peeps dealing with that snow up there in Toronto?
Oh, well, it'll go away, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, you just got to wake up with a positive attitude, have a smile on your face every day, every single morning, because life is fantastic. It's energetic. It's great, and you just got to go out there and embrace it and use it for all it's worth.
Hey, take control of your life, guys. Use it for all that it's worth. You got a collar shirt on. And here's the deal. So tomorrow, guys, we're going to pick up on applying this law to your life. We're going to just recap and pick up on how we apply this law to our life, the law of pain. And actually, we're going to have Fan Friday. So all you beautiful ladies out there, make sure that you have your hair done, got your makeup ready to go, because it's going to be time for you to jump into some seats and share how you've grown from this process that we've gone through this week, because we're going to start getting ready for week number 9 of the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth. Well, hey, guys, It's 7:30. 30 minutes. Actually, it was 35 minutes because we started a little early today.
Hey, since it's a holiday tomorrow and no one has to go to work, let's make it an hour. My challenge to you, Evan.
Maybe tomorrow we'll have an hour for you tomorrow. An hour of power. Hey, you know what?
Ooh, that's cool. Hour of power.
It depends on how much participation that we get. We got people that just, they like to watch. I want to see how much participation we get. We get enough participation, we'll make it an hour. Right? We're actually going to make it 55 minutes.
An hour
I don't
of power.
know what holiday it is. What holiday is it? Is it Palm Friday or something? What is it?
Good Friday.
Good Friday. Yeah, Good Friday. That's what it's called. Good Friday. Before Easter Sunday. Yeah, Easter is this Sunday. Well, maybe you don't know. Easter is the Sunday, so we got Good Friday, and many people off or taking off early. I don't know. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, guys, with the applying the law of pain. Go out today and be awesome. Do great things today. Do something extraordinary. You know what's ordinary in your life. What I'm challenging you today to do is do something extra. Add some extra to your ordinary, and you'll see you get some extraordinary results. Well, here's the deal, guys. Today is what it is. We're going to be wealthy. We're going to be healthy. We've decided to be happy, and we're out. Have a good day, guys.
I love it.